Hey y'all! Welcome to one of the many, not very many, segments of Classics with Christy. And I'm looking directly at the camera right now and I'm realizing that my glasses are like super shiny and I don't actually need them. So tonight I have decided to talk about classic Disney movies, and I actually looked up the list of classic Disney movies from the Disney Vault, and I have them all written down on this little piece of paper here. So we're going to take a little trip through the ages of the classics in the Disney Vault. So here we go. First and foremost, and pretty obviously, Snow White. These are all in order by like release dates. So Snow White, I'm gonna have a little chat about Snow White, but it's only gonna be kind of short. I don't really care for Snow White as a movie all that much. Yes, it was Disney's first, and I can appreciate that. But since it was released in like 1937, there's some pretty old like ideas about how women are treated and what they can do for themselves, and so the main character, like the princess, who's supposed to be the main focus of the movie, literally all she does is fall asleep and get kissed by a prince and get saved by this guy. So that's personally why I don't really find it to be like that great of a movie, but it's a classic and I understand the time frame that it came from, so I'm not bashing it. Just want to say it's not one of my faves. We also have, this is in order like I said, we also have Pinocchio, and then out came Dumbo, and then out came Bambi. So those are some pretty cute movies. And then there were 6 others that came out between that time frame, and then they released Cinderella. So between Bambi and Cinderella, there were like 6 other kind of irrelevant movies. I remember that one of them, the last one they released before Cinderella, was it was like Ichabod Crane. What's the
Ichabod and Mr. Toad?
Name for it? No, not Ichabod and that's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Actually, that's the name of it that's the name of the ride that is based on that movie in Disneyland, but I don't think that's actually the name of Mr. Toad's movie. But no, it's Ichabod Crane, like the Misadventures of Ichabod Crane or something like that. It's an older movie, and it's based off an even older myth about Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. I watched some of them. They were like the 3 Saladitos, and that was the one where like Donald Duck is friends with like the 3 other birds, but they're like Mexican for some reason because they were the 3 amigos. Then Cinderella came out. Cinderella was a little bit better than Snow White on the like feminist scale, but still wasn't super great. She's pretty cute, and I like the remakes that they're coming out with now because they're definitely trying to give her a little more agency. But in the first Disney classic, she pretty much did nothing, and her song was really warbly. It wasn't as bad as Snow White's song though. Then there was Alice in Wonderland, and I'm pretty sure they took a lot of drugs to come up with that, but that's okay. It's great, and it's definitely a classic. And then there was Peter Pan. So like Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, and then Sleeping Beauty were all released like congruently from each other, and so I feel like Disney was definitely on a very good kind of ride at that point. They did well with all of those. Lady and the Tramp was super, super cute, but I feel like all of these like earlier Disney movies are lacking in plot a little bit, and that's just my personal opinion on most of the like classics. So yeah. Peter Pan had a pretty good plot, and Lady and the Tramp did too. It was really cute. Sleeping Beauty, honestly, I love Aurora. Like, I love her as Briar Rose more than I love her as Aurora though, because all she does is Aurora is sleep, which I'm really jealous of. But as Briar Rose, like, she lives in the forest and she's just a regular girl like picking berries and shit, and she's got this great set of pipes and this great set of fashion. So yeah, Sleeping Beauty is actually probably one of my favorite Disney movies, like Disney classic movies, just because I really actually appreciate Prince Philip. Like in the earlier movies like Cinderella and Snow White, I didn't really appreciate the princes all that much because like, yeah, it was princess movies, but the princes were the main characters because they were the one that like swooped in and saved them. But it wasn't very heroic or romantic how the princes in those movies saved their princesses. And in Sleeping Beauty, like Philip just bursts in, like he gets captured by Maleficent and he's in her dungeon like all to try and save Aurora, and then the fairies come and like break him out and he has to like fight this magnificent Maleficent dragon and he totally wins, and he's so heroic about it, and it's just fantastic. It really shows like that there's actually a love connection there, and it's not just like this prince is marrying this princess because they have to kind of thing. So I appreciate that. Like, that's one of the reasons that I really like Sleeping Beauty. And then out came 101 Dalmatians, and this is kind of like, I wrote all of these down because I really enjoy all of these movies, but they're almost like the 6 irrelevant movies that came out between Bambi and Cinderella. So, but that doesn't mean that I like really dislike any of these movies. They're pretty great, in my opinion. So it was 101 Dalmatians, and then The Sword and the Stone, and then they came out with Jungle Book. So, okay, starting from Jungle Book and going down, all of these movies were like really, really good, but I feel like they don't get the recognition that they truly deserve because they're not like about princesses, you know what I mean? Jungle Book, Aristocats. I think we all know why I love Aristocats. And then there was Robin Hood, which I loved. Then they did The Fox and the Hound, which everybody totally loves but nobody ever actually like really talks about, so it's kind of underrated, but it's still fantastic. And then they did Black Cauldron. It's kind of like Sword in the Stone, like, it's pretty good. You know, we got a really cute little princess from the Black Cauldron who is very underrated, and I feel bad because I remember her, like I can picture her, but I can't remember her name. And she had a cute little ball of light that like floated around and guided her. Leave her name in the comments for me, please, and thank you. And then we had The Great Mouse Detective, which I loved because they were British and it was about mice and I thought they were really cute. And then Oliver and Company, and one of the main characters, and that is also a cat, so holds a special place in my heart. And then they literally went on like this streak, Disney did, and they released all of these baller ass movies that everybody fucking like just loves and like dies for. So here we go. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, and Pocahontas, all in one stretch. Like, they didn't have any duds in there released between those movies, so that's pretty great. Little Mermaid, we're gonna go back and talk about all these movies because they're just so good. Okay, so Little Mermaid, who doesn't want to be Ariel? Who doesn't want to be a mermaid? I don't even know what more I can say about how much of a classic movie The Little Mermaid is. It's pretty much, honestly, one of Disney's best. Then there's Beauty and the Beast, which they're remaking right now, and I'm super, super excited about it because I really like the way that they're doing like these live-action remakes, pretty much frame for frame the old Disney movies. It's pretty cool. And the original Beauty and the Beast was just so visually stunning and like